What's going on, everyone? Welcome into another episode of the Dairyland Drive podcast. Collin, Mike, and Riley, always with you to talk a little Packers, NFL, and just the sports world in general. And we are all in high spirits. I know it's been about 5 days since our last game, but hey, Packers are 2-0. I think if you said this maybe before training camp, and maybe even going this season, I think if you thought 2-0 after that gauntlet kind of a schedule at home, I think you'd be pretty happy with that. But how are we doing? How are my fellow 2-0 Packer fans been the last, I guess, 5 days here after taking off that win against the Commanders?
Doing pretty good. Kind of wanted to make like a 5 interception joke at Riley's expense until I realized Wisconsin is complete ass themselves against, especially against Alabama. So don't really have too much to say about that. But yeah, otherwise doing good. 2-0, baby.
Yeah, like I said last week, I'm out in Florida, so that doesn't affect me. Talks about pre-show Birdmith's fucking balling out in soccer. My high school team hasn't pissed me off yet, and Bears, and I don't know if they're pretty bad, I guess, and the Vikings look kind of shit too. So I'm good.
Yeah, we'll talk about the rest of the NFC North because that was a beating that the Bears got, and just hate to see it as Packer fans. Just absolutely hate to see it. But we'll talk about that.
Shame.
Talk about that in a little bit. Let's rewind the clock though. 5 days ago, quick turnaround after the just dominating win over the Lions week 1. 4 days later, the Packers took on the Commanders at Lambeau Field. It was a whiteout, which, as we learned in our jersey kind of debate a few weeks ago, Mike hated it. Mike did not like the whiteout jerseys. Well, they were in full effect, and it was a lot of the same offense. Aggressive, scored early. Defense was just lights out once again. Jaden Daniels really didn't get going, or the whole offense didn't really get going the whole night. They win comfortably to a point. I know they had to make some plays there in the second half to kind of keep the Commanders off their back. But just overall takeaways from that win. Again, 4 days after a pretty dominating, emotional win at Lions at home. You had a couple guys down on the offensive line, so it was kind of a makeshift offensive line. You lose Jaden Reed during it as well, so a couple injuries. But again, they did what they needed to do. The offense was great early. Defense was pretty solid the entire game. Offense made some plays late, but like I said, 2-0 and a pretty important 2-0 start, I think, to the season to kind of set the tone.
Yeah, for sure. I think, before the season, I think we all said if we'd come out of this first 2 games 1-1, we'd probably been pretty okay. With that 2-0 now is even better. Getting those 2 wins at home is crucial. Offensively, like the way they came out. Running game's been a little bit frustrating here to start the season. Not really getting a lot going on the ground. It did feel like for a while there they were just kind of playing with their food. They're in the third quarter. I don't know if you guys felt that way at all. I don't know. But in the end, they ultimately, ended up making the drive that they needed to. I mean, Washington, I think, came out with a score, and Green Bay came out and answered right back with a long drive and a touchdown at that. So that was really good to see. And then I don't know, what more is there to say about the start of the defense this year? I mean, Micah Parsons is just completely wrecking games, and it's clear how much of an effect like his presence has had on everybody else. They seem to just elevate their game, and it's been awesome to see so far. And hopefully now they can take the show on the road these next couple weeks here and do the same thing.
Yeah, to me, it all starts with the defense. They shut down the run early. Before it comes in with a good game plan on offense, they get scores. They get up and they just let their speed and their pass rush hunt. Blitzing, dropping everybody in coverage. They can do both, obviously. Kind of what Mike just touched on. playing with our food. I mean, I'm still, and we talked about this in the offseason. That's one of my things with LaFleur is like his in-game adjustments. Teams kind of figure out what the Packers offense is doing, and he still has not proven to me that he can adjust and like just end the games faster. It's kind of on the defense end the game, which they've been up to the task. So that's what I'd like to see is just the offense, like the in-game like ability to like continue to grow. Like his initial plan's great. He comes in great, but like same thing the last 2 weeks. And I mean, it's only 2 game sample size, but it's been the gripe the last however many years LaFleur has been there. Like in game, like he just, for whatever reason, it goes stale, or if it starts out shit, it's going to be shit. So I would like to see just the offense continue to grow. I know they're dealing with injuries, offensive line. Jaden Reed's gone now, so blah, blah, blah. But that's my thing is I just want to see him be able to put away games faster.
Yeah, and we're gonna have another fill in the blank segment for Mike, so we won't get too much into it. Want to get into the starting offensive line. How surprised were we that we saw Anthony Belton sighting in the first series, getting that first kind of, I guess, first reps at right tackle with Zach Tom. What was that pretty surprising for you? I know he rotated with Kennard, for the most part all night, but I thought he held up fairly well, at least in the pass pro. But just talk about that offensive line a little bit, because Mike, you mentioned it. The run game struggled a little bit. It seems like over the course of the game, just with how Josh Jacobs runs as well, the hole's starting to open up a little bit more, and those 2 yard runs start to turn into 3, 4, 5 yard runs there in the second half, and that's kind of the recipe. But yeah, early on it seems like it's a struggle. Jordan Love didn't look nearly as clean maybe as week one, in some of his, I guess, drop backs and whatnot, what the Commanders were able to do. But I guess how surprised were you that Anthony Belton was out there in meaningful football time to start the game, and just kind of how would you kind of evaluate that makeshift offensive line, which really we're looking at the depth here now because you had 2 starters that were out missing that game, and we got a chance to look at the depth and kind of what that looks like for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, I texted you guys, I think, right at the beginning of the game when they announced the starters, and I saw Belton out there at right tackle. That took me by surprise. I was expecting Kennard just because he came in for Zach Tom in week one. So that definitely surprised me, but not surprised that they were kind of rotating them in. I think in the end, though, didn't Belton end up taking quite a few more of the share of the snaps than Kennard at right tackle, like 3-1 almost? I don't know. I keep saying that, like, I don't understand like what their plan is with this offensive line. Like, I don't know. I probably will never understand it. How they're rotating pieces where they see guys fitting. Excuse me. It's just weird, but I mean, they clearly have a process they want to go through, and they're going to see it through.
I wouldn't say I was surprised. It's the Packers. I think they keep things under wraps very well, obviously. So I mean, they spent a second round draft pick on him. Like they need to play him. That was kind of everybody's gripe with what are you guys doing with Jordan Morgan last year, and he got hurt anyway, so he wasn't getting reps and blah blah blah. So if you get a chance to get him out there, whether it goes good or bad, I think that's still a better overall situation. So yeah, I don't know. I think he held up fine. Obviously, run blocker. I'm not that upset with the run game overall. Second week in a row, teams continue to fucking just stack the box, and they're going to and we were texting this in our group thread, and Collin kind of touched on it. Until Jordan Love completes these fucking wide open bombs, like teams are not going to drop 2 safeties back. Like they're going to have 8 guys in the box because he's only going to hit 1 out of every 5 or 6 or maybe fucking 8 deep balls. Because like he overthrew 3 fucking touchdowns last week. Like that would have really ended the fucking game a lot faster. So until he completes at least 1 out of every 3 of those, not 1 of 6 or 7 or 8 or whatever he is right now, like Josh Jacobs isn't going to get going until the second half, until teams like have to start trying to be more aggressive to get the ball back. So until Love actually starts hitting some of this shit, like that's just what we're going to face all year.
Yeah, and he's been good, but yeah, he certainly has left a lot out there. You mentioned a lot of missed opportunities. Matthew Golden, I feel like, has I mean, the very opening drive of the game, they roll the dice and go on fourth down. Matthew Golden had him by, what, 2 steps? Had the DB by 2 steps at least, and Love underthrew him and ended up getting broken up. He had Golden later on as well in the second half, I think. So hopefully that will get there because I do think that's how the offense gets to the next level is Jordan Love's play and those big plays. But before we get to the defensive side of the ball, I'm going to try not to ruin any of some of the fill in the blanks. Tucker Kraft, a Tucker Kraft coming out party. We pretty much got to see a little bit of everything of what he can kind of bring to the table. Like, granted, I don't think we see him. I think it was like 6 catches for over 120 yards and a touchdown. Like, it's probably not going to be that every single week, but I think that kind of shows us of like what maybe his involvement or what his maybe targets and just his involvement in the offense overall should look like every week if the Packers are going to kind of have success. That's I would assume all three of us were pretty happy with like the usage and just where Tucker Kraft was all over the field making plays and especially that touchdown.
Oh yeah, he's so dynamic, dude. And then watching him just get off me, little boy, to that DB trying to make that tackle too. I mean, sky's the limit for Tucker there. I mean, you said it all right there.
LaFleur definitely opened it up finally, kind of what we've been talking about all summer. He's got to get the ball in his hands like he's a freak. Like you guys said, he's different when he has the ball in his hands. So however we do that, I don't care. Just get the fucking ball in his hands.
And real quick, got to give a little shout out to Jordan Love. I don't know if you guys watch Good Morning Football. Kyle Brandt with the scepter and Angry Runs. Jordan Love got the scepter this week, which is, I'm sure all of us on that run were holding our breath, but he did run over a defensive back. I think Trey Amos, who we all kind of talked about, I think quite a bit, I believe, in our preview. I think that's who it was. And
Yeah.
Ended up getting the scepter from Kyle Brandt. So pretty cool. Probably the only time he'll ever get a scepter in his career, but let's not do that anymore. And I love the toughness, but goddamn, like anytime he runs the ball, it makes me nervous.
And leading with his throwing shoulder too, like
Yeah.
as soon as I'm just waiting, I'm like, get up, be fine, get up, be fine. Like
It's I'm sure like from a teammate standpoint, that's like get the guys riled up when they see their quarterback go out and do that. But like I'm sure from like a coach's standpoint and like every like football decision maker, they're like, dude, like don't do that. Like let's be a little smarter. We need you for the full season, not just 2 games. But it was kind of cool to see. But all right, let's talk about the defense. Micah Parsons, we kind of saw his usage get ramped up a little bit. I mean, I don't know. Fast, hunting, all 11 hats on the ball. That's what we saw week 1. I think that's what we saw a lot of week 2 as well. I'm sure there's going to be some like haters in the NFC North, probably mainly Bears fans. Vikings are going to look at it and say, well, Parsons didn't get to the quarterback, blah, blah, blah. But like his impact just like in general is insane. Is it not? Like how he just completely changes the defense of how quick he makes like offenses have to kind of just make decisions and maybe like change the play or like dump off like really short. Like Jaden Daniels had a tremendous rookie season and is, probably one of the better, top 10, top 15 quarterbacks in the league and a playmaker. Didn't really look at it. I mean, what do you have, like 15 or 20 yards rushing, something like that, like the entire night, which I know Mike kind of talked about last week with just like his ability to use his legs. I don't think he really got in a rhythm till the second half. He just kind of looked out of sorts, just that offense in general. But I think a lot of that was the pass rush, and Riley mentioned the stopping the run. But once you stop the run, that sets up the pass rush and the third and passing situations. And like I said, the pass rush overall with Gary and even Van Ness, I think, has looked decent from inside as well. I mean, we'll go back to that in a little bit about him. I think adding weight and maybe playing more than Terry, I think I see a potential, like, really good player if he does do that. But yeah, Parsons just game changer. Like what he brings is just like it's tough not to get excited because like I said, it's just going to keep getting closer and closer to like his 100% like usage and what he's able to do. But I think that the defense took a step from week 1 to week 2 and I was more excited to watch them week 2, and I think they kind of answered the bell against, I think, another pretty good offense.
Yeah, for sure. I think kind of the most surprising part so far the first 2 weeks is like how effective they've been at stopping the run. I think especially like once they got rid of Kenny, the question was like, how's the middle of that interior gonna hold up stopping the run? And so far they've been really effective at it. I mean, the running back, what's his name? How do you say his last name? Bill.
It's like
Krosky Merritt.
What's that?
Bill Krosky Merritt.
Krosky Merritt. Yeah, like they were talking him up big time. Like, and I think he had a pretty good week 1. And they pretty much shut him down like right away. And then I was not expecting them to hold back Jane Daniels like they did either. So I was very pleasantly surprised. I'm kind of a pessimist by nature when it comes to defense, just being so jaded from the last like 12 years. So anything good that happens is just like a surprise to me, even though maybe getting Micah, it shouldn't be more as surprising. It should be more of a standard at this point. But overall, yeah, super pleased, and hopefully they can keep that same energy on the road without that home crowd behind them.
Yeah, the defense is just so fast. I think that's what sticks out to me. I guarantee if you'd ask Jaden Daniels, it's probably even faster. Like right now, while they're all fresh, maybe even more fast than the Eagles defense at the end of the year last year. The taking away the run, Quay Walker's playing out of his fucking mind right now. Like he's only had issues in pass covers, like which is why we're hearing all the Quay Walker is like they're talking about actually extending him, and that's probably because he's played lights out the last 2 weeks. Edgerrin Cooper's a fucking stud. He's getting way over. Like, people like forget, like obviously Packer fans don't, but like he's literally a top 8 and linebacker in the NFL, and people don't even know because everybody's talking about Micah Parsons, which is fine. But those two are just so fast. They get to the ball. They can do a million different things. So yeah, they're creating chaos with Devontae Wyatt. Kobe Wooden's playing really good. And just letting those two run around and make plays just because linemen cannot handle how athletic Edge and Clay are. So yeah, they just got to keep winning. It's very generic, but they just got to keep winning first down. If they can get teams in second and third and long, like they're fine. Like the only time the Commanders got anything going last Thursday was when like they'd actually get a good.
Look at that. The Commanders even froze Riley's screen. We'll give him a a second to get back into it. And also I wanted to talk about too before Riley gets on. We finally got to see Keyshawn Nixon and Nate Hobbs play together for the first time. Pleasantly pleased, I think. Nate Hobbs, his physicality. I think he had a penalty. I think like a legal contact or something, but. Is it time to kind of eat our crow on Keyshawn Nixon after he kind of talked about wanting to be quarterback 1 after last year? I know a lot of people were hesitant about it dude, you've like barely played corner. Like let's see how it goes. You're more of a return man that can potentially help the defense. He's kind of looked the part for mostly, I think, these first 2 games. Like, granted, I don't think he's got tested a ton, but like, what do you have? Like 4 or 5 pass breakups this last game, which was like 5 pass breakups, which was like the most by a Packer in a long time. So, we have to give a little shout out to Keyshawn because I don't know if he's like let's not throw his name out there for like top corner in the league, but I think those two together can be really good with Hobbs and even throw Valentine in there as well. But the one thing that stands out to me as well, and I'll let Riley finish his thought after that, but it's almost like the Packers have a star at every single level. You have Micah Parsons kind of up front that just wrecks defenses, wrecks offensive line. You talked about Edge Cooper, who can go sideline to sideline. He's just kind of just a good all-around linebacker, just a freak of nature. Then, let's not forget, we have Xavier McKinney on the back end, which has barely been talked about, I think, these first 2 weeks as well with everything that's going on in front of him. Like, he's pretty dang good on the back end as well, and if you're not getting talked about, you're either not getting interceptions or you're doing your job damn good. And I think it's that second part. So that's the thing about this defense is they got stars, I think, at every single level of this defense. And if Nixon and Hobbs can kind of hold out when maybe the pass rush isn't getting home or teams start to kind of run up tempo a little bit, which I know the Commanders were doing a little bit as well when they were starting to move the ball. Man, this defense is gonna be tough to score against. And would Parsons say if our offense scores 20 pretty much, or no, if do you say if we'll hold in the 20, the offense will win or something, or if our offense scores 20, we'll win, something like that. I have to think it's pretty spot on just with how they've looked so far. I don't think it's a fluke, man. I think they're damn good. I think they are a top 3, top 5 defense in the league right now. Just from what we've seen against, like I said, this isn't the freaking Browns and whatever, the Browns and Panthers that the Packers have played the first 2 weeks. It's like maybe the
Don't
best.
think too soon.
I'm just saying it's the probably the best, one of the best offenses in the league last year in the Lions, and the Commanders, who had a damn good year too with Kingsbury and Jaden Daniels, and added Deebo Samuel too. So I mean, this is a pretty good litmus test of, I think, of where they're at right now and what they are able to do against, I think, could ultimately end up being like 2 top 10, top 15 offenses. But before we get going, Riley, I don't know if you wanted to finish your thoughts of where you were at and talking about the Commanders, and then they froze you. So I don't know if there's any Commanders listeners freezing you or whatnot, but
No, I just wanted to say, like, Quay and Edge are playing out of their minds. They're just so athletic. They're just flying around, which, yeah, and about Quay getting an extension now, you've seen that all over social media, and he deserves it. Yeah, so everybody's just doing their job. I just want to give a shout out to Bullard. Bullard took away all the screens, the quick screens of Debo by himself in the first quarter, and they just never went back to that. Yeah, and the only thing the defense, I think we all noticed the Commanders get a couple first downs, go no huddle. That was the only success they had, is when you could tell the Packers players were getting tired. Like, you could noticeably fatigued. So farther we get into the season, the better shape that the Packers are in. Like, that's their only weakness right now, is being tired. Like, that's a very good sign.
yeah, I think that's how well they're playing as like a total unit right now. Is like we keep mentioning players' names and we're like, well, we're not talking about so and so because a lot of the bigger names are getting the attention, but that's just how it's been so far. Like you said, Buller, I think, has been phenomenal too, like in the slot, and just kind of how that whole defense has kind of handled themselves and played together these first 2 weeks. But okay, let's go to Mike. It is time for Mike's weekly segment, and I believe you finally have a name for it, possibly, but I will turn it over to you to kick things off for this week's Fill in the Blanks. It's all yours.
All right, we're going segment called Lambeau Lines. It's our fill in the blank segment. All right, first one. The Packers offense has been blank through 2 weeks.
Go ahead, Riley. I'm still thinking my word.
I'm just gonna say average. Like, they've been fine, not bad. I wouldn't say great. I mean, defense is playing out of their mind. They're getting a lot of possessions back, turnovers, and they've only put up 27. So, like, which is fine, but it's not good. It's just, I'm going to say they're average right now.
I was gonna say good enough. It seems like they're good enough early on. Like, they're very aggressive early with LaFleur's like opening script, and in the first couple drives look good. They get out to an early lead, but then it kind of stalls and things kind of fall apart, I think, after that. Love is still like, he's good, but like we mentioned earlier, he's still leaving a lot on the table. If he starts hitting those throws and kind of opens up the offense, I think it goes to a whole nother level. And like we mentioned, I think if he starts hitting those throws too and making big plays, that'll open up the run game like earlier on in the game, and teams not just fully load in the box and putting a lot on his plate early on. So yeah, good enough right now, but I think there's still a lot of work to do and a lot of things to improve on here in the coming weeks.
Yeah, definitely left a lot out on the meat, let him meat on the bone this week. I think could have easily hung 40 this week. Next one, if Zach Tom cannot go, which is kind of looking like right now, the plan at right tackle should be blank.
it's got to be Belton, and then you have to fucking double Miles Garrett
100%.
every play. That's like one of the X factors of the game is Zach Tom's health if he can play, because they're not gonna. I mean, Zach Tom's gonna struggle with Miles Garrett, but yeah, I mean, I'd go with Belton and then just pray to God that the Florida's gonna have a plan and just double him every fucking play.
Yeah, I would assume Belton would be the guy, but yeah, I mean, there's not a ton of tackles in the league that don't struggle against Miles Garrett, so I think like Zach Tom would probably like win his fair share of fights if he was in there, but Miles Garrett's going to be Miles Garrett, so I would hope LaFleur kind of mix the game plan around that of some quick stuff and trying to neutralize him as much as possible. But yeah, if it's Belton, oof, that could be your like first like welcome to the league moment, I think. If he's getting his fair share of. I hope it wouldn't be a lot of one-on-ones, but if he does get a lot of one-on-ones, I'm gonna assume he probably doesn't win a ton against Miles Garrett. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah, got to get yourself in a lot of second and third and manageables, right? Not make it obvious passing downs, hopefully.
Yeah.
All right, next one. The leading receiver against the Browns will be blank.
Tucker Kraft.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Dontavian Wicks. I think he's gonna get all the snaps in the slot that Jaden Reed would have had.
All right. I was kind of wondering if we would get a Matthew Golden in there, just because he had a couple of deep shots that almost hit and didn't. So just wondering when's gonna be his time.
They're just not using him. I was gonna bring that up. They literally like, I'm not gonna say purposely, but he like significantly played a lot less snaps than those other guys. Like last week, like week 1, he played a lot more than he did last week. I don't know what he did in practice, or they just didn't. I don't know. So that'd be interesting going forward.
He was open a lot though, from what it looked like.
Mm-hmm.
All right, final one. The Lions and Commanders are seemingly respectable teams. I think we can agree on that. The Cleveland Browns are a blank opponent.
They are a
What?
opponent. What's like a? They're like a trap game opponent. I feel like because I'm sure like the Cowboys are in 2 weeks and then you have your bye coming up. So I'm sure the Packers are riding high a little bit. Like the Browns are a team like, yes, you should beat. Like if you played them 100 times, you probably should beat them 100 times. But all it takes is like that one game of offense not to click. Like their defense isn't bad. Like their defense isn't like terrible. And they do have probably the best player in the NFL right now in Miles Garrett, or arguably the best player in the NFL in Miles Garrett. So like he can wreck games. But I would say they're like a trap, kind of like a trap game in the NFL right now. If you have kind of something behind them of maybe overlook them a little bit or come out a little sluggish first game on the road. Who knows what that environment's like? I don't know. Do people still go to Browns games, or they still wear bags over their heads? I don't know. But I mean, they should win. But yeah, I would say it's kind of like a trap game opponent.
I'll go with a unique challenge, just because Miles Garrett's like, I think, one of 3 guys in the NFL that can completely fucking wreck games. Him, Micah Parsons, TJ Watt. Like if you don't do something about them, like they're gonna wreck games. And like Collin said, their defense is good. They just shut down Derrick Henry. I mean, they gave up 41 points because their pass defense was shit, but they literally shut down Derrick Henry. They're gonna shut down Josh Jacobs. They're gonna say, Jordan Love, you gotta fucking beat us. So gonna have to be a big Jordan Love game, and the receivers and Kraft are gonna have to perform. So yeah, it's a unique challenge. They're gonna make Jordan Love beat you, and it's just, how is LaFleur gonna deal with one of the 3 best game records in the entire NFL?
Riley, why were you laughing at that?
Because they say they're not good. Like their defense, like Collin said, their defense is good. Like they have 2 good corners, they have a couple good defensive linemen, but they're
Joe Flacco, their quarterback.
yeah, like their offense is so, like their offense literally like it walks into exactly how every weakness their offense has, what the Packers defense is good at. Like I just don't, like, if the Packers decide they want to play, like literally the Browns might have less than 150 total yards.
I could see it. I could see this being something where like the Packers get the ball to start the game and they have just like a sloppy opening script or something. Like they either go 3-and-out or maybe get one first down and end up punting. And then you're just kind of like, as a fan, you're like, oh, okay, it's gonna be one of those games. But then I think the defense will just like their offense should do nothing. Like Joe Flacco can like barely move. Like I don't know. Like Quinshon Judkins showed a little bit. Like I don't think people are talking about. Like he actually looked pretty effective. I think his first game, back from suspension. But it's like that's really it. I mean, Jerry Jeudy, sure. Cedric Tillman, sure. But I mean, you got Joe Flacco throwing you the ball. Like that's the I think that's the X factor. So
If Jerry Jeudy was worth the shit, he'd still be in fucking Denver.
need him in Denver.
Their best pass catcher is Njoku, and he's gonna have to be chipping fucking. He's gonna be wasting his time chipping fucking Micah Parsons because DeJuan Jones at left tackle won't fucking touch him. So like, they're just gonna waste their pass. Yeah, they're gonna Halfley's gonna he's gonna try to kill Flacco. They're gonna blitz so much because their offensive line's not good against speed, and like you said, Flacco can't move. And none of the receivers are worth a shit to get open one-on-one. Like Judy might win every once in a while, but like nobody else is going to consistently win one-on-ones like that fast. So yeah, if the Packers play, like I just don't even know how the fucking Browns get anything going.
All right, that's Lambeau Lines.
Fantastic. All right. Well, let's talk. Any final thoughts, I guess, going into the Browns game? I don't know how much more we want to talk about. I know we usually talk about like the keys of the game or what the Packers have to do to win, but it sounds like we kind of talked about that in the last question. Any closing thoughts on the green and gold before we get to our next segment and talk about the rest of the NFC North? Should be.
I just feel like if Packers make like some kind of like stupid special teams mistake or they start having a couple turnovers, fumble, interception, like Cleveland's going to stick around. This game's going to be a lot, closer than it should be going into the fourth quarter. Also, can we get someone else to be a punt returner, please? Like, we don't need Golden or Keyshawn back there. Like, anybody else.
Definitely getting out. He's definitely being elevated these next however many weeks. Like he just will.
Hardman?
I would have to think
Yeah,
so.
100%. He's going to get elevated the next at least 3 weeks from the practice. Yeah, until Watson's ready to play, I think Hardman will get elevated every game.
We'll say we didn't.
But then who's going to be the punt returner once you move him back down?
They won't have one.
God.
Probably keep being one of those two. I don't know unless Savion Williams can catch punts. I do like the usage of Savion Williams so far. He looks like fairly quick when he returns kicks and like how they've utilized him in the offense a little bit. That drive in the second half there when the Commanders got within 10 and they needed to answer, they go end around to Golden and I guess more of a sweep to Golden and Williams, like back-to-back plays, I think, to move the sticks. Like, love that. Let's see like more stuff like that. Get your playmakers the ball in space. But yeah, my God, special teams. At least it wasn't the Caleb Johnson mishap of just kind of letting the ball go and get recovered for a touchdown. But yeah, there certainly have been some kind of head scratchers here these first couple weeks. McManus did bounce back and make the 50+ yarders, so there was that at least. But like, come on, let's not go down that road again. Let's just stay and go to a completely different road. But all right, let's go to our next segment, 3 and out. We're going to look at the rest of the NFC North. So on first down, got to talk about the Lions. Just absolutely dismantled Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, the entire defense. They put up a 50-burger on that was supposed to like that. The crazy thing, let's just rewind a little bit here. With all the talk of the Bears and Ben Johnson coming to be the savior and turn Caleb Williams around, like the one common thing was supposed to be they had some guys on defense and their defense was supposed to be solid. Well, holy shit, the first 2 weeks, their defense looks absolutely awful. J.J. McCarthy, like, shredded them in the second half in that week 1 loss against the Vikings. And then, like, Jared Goff just what do you have? 5 touchdowns, 6 touchdowns. Amon St. Brown had 3. So want to start with the Lions. Are the Lions officially back? Do we need to kind of pick them back up and put them in that top tier with the Packers and the Eagles as contenders again? Or is it kind of like maybe a happy medium of maybe they're not as bad as what the Packers made them look week 1, but maybe they're not as good as what the Bears made them look week 2? Are we kind of in the middle there, or are they officially back? Where are we at with the Lions after that dominating win?
I would suspect they're much closer to what they showed against the Bears than what they showed against the Packers. I know the coordinator thing's a big deal. I think they just have too much talent, specifically on the offensive side, to be kept down like that. And I think defensively, like Kelvin Shepard, his philosophy, I think they're just going to keep being aggressive, kind of like they were under Aaron Glenn, and they're going to figure it out. I mean, they do have some really good players on defensive side too. Don't forget. And I think Dan Campbell has just kept them just in this mindset of just, I don't know. It's different. Like they're going to be aggressive. They're going to be play through the echo of the whistle. Like I don't know. I think they're much closer to what they showed this week than they did against the Packers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they were ever really on. The Packers won first down. They couldn't run the ball, so like that just shuts down everything Goff and wants to do with the play action. So yeah, as long as they can run the ball, they're going to put up points, and they're going to go. They're so aggressive. They go on 4th down. They're going to just do what they do.
All right, let's go to 2nd down. And all 3 of us missed on this game last week. We had the Vikings over the Falcons. Is it time to be concerned about the Vikings offense of what they've kind of looked like for a majority of the first 2 weeks? J.J. McCarthy now is apparently out for the next few weeks with an injury. Aaron Jones just hit the IR. They didn't really do anything against, I know, an improved Falcons defense, and that pass rush looked pretty good. But is it time to now hit the panic button for the Vikings here early on with your starting quarterback out? One of your better playmakers, Aaron Jones, out, and just really not having any flow or just really any rhythm these first 2 weeks. Is it time to hit that panic button in Minnesota if you're Kevin O'Connell?
I think there's a few injuries on the offensive line too, is there not? So they got a few guys out there. I mean, I don't know. 2 weeks in, it's always tough for me to hit the panic button. But I'm also a little biased here as a non-Vikings fan. So I'd have to hear from some Vikings fans themselves to see if they're hitting the panic button yet. I don't know. A lot of time left. 2 weeks in, I'm not hitting the panic button yet if I'm a Viking fan.
I'm freaking the fuck out. If this was the Packers, we'd all be on suicide watch right now. If Jordan Love played like J.J. McCarthy the last 2 weeks, yeah, and Carson Wentz is going to play the next 2 to 4 weeks. No Aaron Jones. Christian Darrisaw's still not back from the ACL next year. Which means neither of their tackles. Brian O'Neill, their starting right tackle, all of a sudden sucks. Like the fucking 2 Falcons rookie defensive ends, which they're both freaks. I get that, but Jesus, they just fucking made the Vikings offensive tackles look like they didn't ever play football before. Yeah, I have freaking the fuck out. It takes away their entire offense getting going against the Bears in the 4th quarter was Aaron Jones out of the backfield. What are they gonna fucking do now? Like he's out. Like I don't know. Have fun, Carson Wentz. Good luck. Like I don't know. I didn't even like what I don't. There, yeah. If I'm a Vikings fan, I'm in a dark place right now.
I think we have potential to see how good of a coach Kevin O'Connell is these next few weeks.
That's what's holding me up.
If he can get
to Halen,
if he doesn't,
nobody there. They don't have any. Like, there's nothing you can do if you're a bad player. And JJ McCarthy's not it. Like he doesn't get it. Like everything he does is a million miles an hour. Like he just, I don't know. And like they're not going to get any better until like Carson Wentz is Carson. Like I don't know. I don't know what there's even talk. It's fucking Carson Wentz. What are we talking about?
Yeah. We will see. And we have some predictions going later on here in just a few minutes. All right, let's go to 3rd down. Got to talk about the Bears. I almost just want to give us each 30 seconds just to shit on Bears and Bears fans right now of just how awesome these first 2 weeks have been from the Packers fandom standpoint. But I'm not going to do that. We're just going to go our third down. Your new win-loss prediction. We'll just do win total for the Bears after seeing them the first 2 weeks, and knowing that they still have to play the Lions again, the Packers twice, and some of these other teams. Where do you have the Bears finishing after all this hype that we heard in the offseason once again, and people talking about them being a sneaky playoff team, a sneaky NFC North contender? Where are we at with the Bears? Or are we still giving them some time? I think they're going to turn it around. Where are we at with their updated win-loss total for 2025?
I don't even know what I gave them preseason. And I don't know what their schedule looks like right now. I don't know who their opponents are. I'm going to say 5 wins.
5 wins, so 5-12.
Yeah, I was gonna go 6-11 just because I don't know their schedule, and I don't. Yeah, maybe 6. Now that I say that seems a little high, but I guess I'll go with 6-11.
I think the one bright spot from the Bears right now is if you probably have Rome Odunze in fantasy, because he gets like 10, 15 targets a game, and I think he has like 4 touchdowns, 3-4 touchdowns so far this year already. That's about it. Positive wise, it's just let's just go down the checklist. Ben Johnson was supposed to make this offense more explosive. They look good the opening drive, and then it's just a far downfall, like just nothing. And then Caleb Williams was supposed to kind of look a little more confident and pick things up and be more of a pro here in this year. Certainly does not look that whatsoever. Looks a lot of the same of his inconsistencies. The offensive line was supposed to be better with these 3 interior guys they brought in. Well, still, guess what? Like, you still got the tackles I don't think look that great, and I think just the offensive line in general, and then the defense. I mean, 50 points. 50 points to Goff. That's just not good. That's not gonna get the job done. So, yeah, 0-2. Enjoy it, Chicago Bear fans, if you're listening. We certainly are up here in North. So, all right, that's 3 and out on the NFC North. Let's go to college football real quick. We'll just give each of us
Nothing to talk about.
Nothing to talk about. Don't want to talk about the. Here's my question. I know we've kind of talked about it a little bit. So your takeaway from the Bama game was just they were just dominated, just start to finish.
Yeah.
So in this tough stretch, if they have a couple more losses like that, where it's just total domination, you can just tell like the talent level, the gap is just super wide. Do you think that makes his seat a little hotter? If yes, like you said, you weren't expecting to win against Alabama, but if you just get just absolutely dominated and you can tell you're taking a step back from last year, that's kind of like what you talked about is let's look more competitive in these games. Let's look like we maybe did take a step forward. We can get to a step forward. If you just lose games like this and just get completely dominated and kind of lose the fan base and whatnot, do you think that's a cause for potentially his hot seat to get a little warmer and maybe parting ways with him at the end of the season? Or do you think he's still good to go? Hey, we don't expect to win these games. It just kind of is what it is at this point.
I would say in a vacuum, purely from a outsider fan perspective, I would say yes, but with context, I believe he just got a year extension not too long ago. I think knowing that he's not going to be on the hot seat, even if that does happen. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like a Wisconsin thing to do to bring in this high profile name and then after 3 years say, all right, see you later. I think he's trying to implement a long-term vision that might take, I don't know, another year or two. But I mean, at the same time, some of these programs now in your conference that you're going up against, how do you compete with that? What is the goal? Is the goal to get to a Big Ten championship? Is your goal to host a college playoff game and hopefully that will send you on a run, some kind of magical run. I don't know. I mean, the college football landscape now, like it's changing so fast, and like expectations change so quickly. Like I don't know from the university perspective, I don't think he's going to be on the hot seat after this year. If it doesn't get better next year, I can see then he's on the hot seat.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like Wisconsin culture is just completely dead. I don't know which way it'll go or if anybody really give it. I just don't even know if people would care if he got fired. It'd be like, oh, okay, who's next? Or if they keep him, they'd be like, okay. I just don't. I think he does have a long-term vision, like Mike said. I just don't know if like at Cincinnati when he just would keep guys like Desmond Ridder. He had him for like 6 years there. Like I just don't know if that works and like the transfer portal, whatever. So until like whatever that fucking Supreme Court whatever approves on, because I'm sure there's still going to be hearings about whatever because they did stuff and it's still a fucking wild wild west. So who the hell knows? So until they like put a limit on it or somehow like just like you got to get lucky, like Illinois, like Bielema, he just got lucky that none of these guys left. Like 2 or 3 of them left, like they'd be fucked because me and Collin texted like there's no talent there, like in the skill players. Like Hank Beatty, some of the white guys, by far their best offensive weapon. Like it's not going to be good against you'll see this week when they play Indiana. So yeah, I don't know. That style of like keeping players and developing them just like does not seem to work. Like it's the teams that reload every year through the transfer portal are the ones that seem to have the most success.
It's got to be weird as a Wisconsin fan though to see Illinois and Indiana both ranked in the top 25 and the Badgers like way 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 down, kind of the gap huge. I would have to think, right?
Is Indiana still in the top 25?
Yeah, they're like number 19, I think. Last I checked. Top
It-
top 20 matchup this week, Indiana and Illinois.
I can go into college football fucking rant if you want me to, because it pisses me the fuck off.
Go ahead, Riley's rant. Here we go.
Indiana has no business being there.
Like, okay, game day. I've heard game day people and whatever, and it's not up to that. Because I love McAfee, I love Herbstreit, I love Desmond Howard. Like, talk about you want to go to all these new places, experience all this shit. Why the fuck is game day going to Miami to watch them beat the shit out of a terrible Florida team? Nobody wants to watch Florida play. Nobody cares. Like you have Texas Tech at Utah. And I get they were at Utah a couple years ago, but it was fucking insane. It's not somewhere you go all the time, and you have not been like at a Texas Tech game. Who the fuck knows how long? Or the other ranked matchup is why do you not go to Indiana versus Illinois? Like what are we doing? Like, why are you going to watch fucking Miami versus like the ESPN executives got to figure it the fuck out. Like, what are we doing? You can't keep saying stuff and do the opposite. Especially when like the people that run your most popular show just like shit on you all the time on national television because you keep fucking it up. On Saturday, McAfee shits on them for being down there for no fucking reason when they could have been in Utah or fucking Bloomington, Indiana for a much bigger atmosphere crowd. Like fucking Miami Stadium's like an hour and a half away from their campus. There's going to be no students there. It's just like you should never go to Miami. It doesn't matter. What are we fucking doing? This is not like college culture at all. Like biggest fucking bust. Like it's such fucking. They're idiots.
All right, there you go. Riley's rant for the week. I do agree. I do agree. They tend to go to the, what do you want to call them? I want to say like the premier schools, but like the big name schools, instead of like where maybe the best game is and where the best atmosphere is going to be, because I think they are missing out on a lot. So I tend to agree on that as well. And we'll see the stretch. These next couple games will be a big stretch for Illinois season. At Indiana and then playing USC, 2 top 25 teams now. So we'll see what happens. But okay. Anything else from college football? That is it. Okay, I'm gonna go to the Spotify comments real quick before we wrap up with our final drive segment and our picks for the week. We have 2 comments this week. I know one was from Sam and one is from Logan. So I'm gonna start with Sam's because I think he commented this almost a week ago on our latest episode 28. What are your thoughts on the refs allowing the Chiefs to kick the field goal right before halftime in Brazil? My understanding is that the defense should have had the opportunity to match the offensive substitutions which then would have ran out the clock. Unless I'm reading the rule book wrong, the ref shouldn't have even let them snap the ball. So if you're referring this, it was right before the end of the first half. The Chiefs completed it in bounds and then ran their kicking team out there in, like, I think, 12 seconds, I think, got the field goal off, and Butker made it. I don't know, are any of you like rule follower analysts that know the situation? I would have to think there has to be some sort of like specific loophole for like obvious kicking situations. Probably, I would have to think so, where they don't stop it if you know the kicking team's running out and you know it's like an obvious kicking situation. I would think there'd have to be some loophole where the ref probably wouldn't have to like stop it and just make say the defense has to be prepared for an obvious kicking situation. That's like the only thing I could think of, because like I do know, like, an actual offensive play, if you substitute, the ref does have to allow like the reasonable time for like subs to go on, because that's like what we see in the NFL, but like that's what Bielema and Illinois do all the time, where the defensive linemen just do like slow jogs off the field, like all the way down to like 5 to 7 seconds. But I don't know if you guys have any insight on that too, but I would have to imagine it has to be something with like a obvious kicking situation, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Sam's comment and his thought process makes sense.
Yeah.
If that's how the rules laid out. But I mean, look at NFL officiating, how inconsistent it is, and how lax they are at enforcing some of these rules here. You know, so I don't know. That's just NFL officiating for you. Like, it's just what it is. What it is. It's kind of baked into the system. Like, I don't know.
I mean, I saw this. Obviously, this was on a Friday night, so I was like in the middle of my own game, so I didn't see this live. But I heard the chatter afterwards, and the refs just fucked it up, because no, like you don't like it doesn't matter like who's coming out there. It's your ball. You're still technically on offense. There's no special teams rule. Like, you have the ball, you're an offense, whether you're punting or field goal or whatever. You're still the offense. So I don't know. I mean, the refs got their get back this week. They let the fucking Eagles jump off sides on 7 tush pushes. So, I guess, fuck the Chiefs back. So there's the get back.
All right. Well, there you go, Sam.
There you go.
Kind of answered your question, but good one. Good thought process. Appreciate that one.
Thanks, Sam.
Got us on our toes a little bit. All right. This was from Logan today. First off, I'm officially joining Brentford FC. Hashtag COYB with a B. Now shifting to the Packers. The start has been absolute, parentheses, piss hot, all caps. Couldn't have asked for a better first couple games. What do you guys see as the single biggest factor on both sides of the ball to keep this run alive and avoid a slump? Health is obvious, but assuming no major injuries outside of Love, Kraft, Jacobs, Parsons, Cooper, McKinney, what's the key to consistency? And if one of those guys goes down, how do we adapt?
Well, I'll speak from my perspective defensively. You can't really control injuries. Like, a lot of times that's out of your control, but you can't control your effort. And I feel like we've been seeing like a lot of high effort, just like as a unit. Everybody's flying to the ball. I think if you can maintain that week after week and not like let this be your peak first 2 weeks, if you can do that like week in and week out, do that on the road, continue to do that in December and January, you're going to have good results in the end.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going to go. I was going to say my 1A would be, and everybody's talks about how young the Packers are, and everybody's crowning them, especially in the defensive side of the ball. So can we keep these defensive guys? I don't want to say egos, like they're whatever, but like, can we keep their egos in check and like not think that they're just better than everybody else and the effort goes away? Then the 1B would just be Halfley, considering just continuing to just cook and get more and more into it. The more Micah is there, the longer Micah is there, and all these young guys continue to grow together. Just how crazy can he get? On the offensive side of the ball, I think it's more of just, it's just got to be Jordan Love. Jordan Love's just got to keep getting better. If he gets better, like yeah, it's going to come down to them and the Eagles and the Bills and the Ravens or whoever comes out of the egg. It's like those top couple of teams are very, very obvious. So yeah, just Jordan Love just has to continue to get better and just more consistent. Just completing the passes he needs to complete.
Which I was going to say as well. Offense, it's all on Love. I think he has the keys and he can kind of take this offense to where I think the ceiling is with this play and like I said, not leaving some of these some of these opportunities that he's missed on the first 2 weeks and not putting points on the board. And Mike talked about a lot of meat on the bone still. I think if he starts converting those, like this offense can go to the next level. And then, defense. I think it's all about like continue stopping the run because they continue stopping the run on first and second down and, allow the defense to play how the defense is played. Like we talked about, like drawing a blank here. Nixon, that like doesn't even respect guys going deep. Like he just sits like at 6 and 7 yards because he knows like the pass rush is going to get home, and that's like where he's just backpedaling to 6 and 7 and breaking, and that's a lot of his breakups like that. That's because you put yourself in those situations of stopping the run and allowing like the pass rush to do what the pass rush does and the defense on the back end to play a little aggressive. So I think that's kind of where it all starts on the defensive side. And yeah, injuries. I don't even want to talk about it. I think if Love gets hurt, like probably would be the we're not even going to go there, but yeah, that would obviously be the big
What
one.
are you doing?
I was just saying that was part of the question too. It's part of the question too. If Love gets hurt, I think that would be the big one. These other guys, I think you could withstand it potentially. And some of those defenders, depends how long, like Parsons, Cooper, and McKinney, like those are our best three players. Like, yeah, that would certainly hurt. But yeah, I don't know. It's a quarterback's league. If you lose your starting quarterback, I think it very limits it. But
I'm on the side. I think he'd be like the third most important guy to get hurt. I think if Micah Parsons or Josh Jacobs got hurt, I think it'd hurt the team a lot more for what they're doing. Like Jordan Love just has not been that good to me. And I'm not saying Malik Willis could do better, whatever. But like, he's not fucking out here slinging it. Like he's not fucking Josh Allen or Lamar. You know what I mean? Like for what they've been doing, just play action and stuff like that. And like, you cannot make me a highlight film longer than 10 seconds of like he's hitting these tight ass windows through the first 2 weeks. Besides that first touchdown to Tucker Kraft against the Lions, like he hasn't hit oh shit. Like everybody's been wide the fuck open. So I don't know. He just hasn't done enough for me to really completely, he's just not good enough right now. Like like I said, he's got to be better.
yeah, and I wasn't trying to manifest that, Mike. That was just part of the question, talking about the injuries. But obviously, hope they all stay healthy, and let's see what this team can do. But thank you, Logan, and welcome
Thanks,
to
Logan.
welcome to the EPL with Brentford. And I hope they lose all the rest of their
Brentford,
matches.
they suck.
Dude,
No.
what are you doing? God.
I don't really have room to talk. They've already beat Aston Villa twice this season in league play and cup play. So I'll let them have that. But all right, let's go to the final drive. Yeah, let's just say it's been a rough 2 weeks for me. I don't know how you guys did last week. I know I went 3-2. I did get my lock. I did not get my upset. Did any of us get our upset? Did you get yours last night, Riley? Or did you pick?
Yeah, I got
my underdog.
Bucks one.
You got your underdog as well, so I was the only one that
Patriots,
didn't.
so-
Okay, I didn't get my upset. So you guys both went 4-1.
No, I went 3-2.
You went 3-2. Riley went.
Yeah, because the Broncos screwed me.
Yeah. So what happens? What happens if your lock? What happens if your lock loses? Like, do you not get to pick a lock for the rest of the season since you messed it up in week 2? Is that how it goes? We're doing Survivor Pool.
I
No,
thought it was just
just
once you
kidding.
pick a lock,
Just
you
one
can't.
for one.
Yeah, you just can't.
What's everybody's record here through 2 weeks?
I know I'm 5-4.
Points.
I'm 5-4. I know.
I think Mike, you're 5 no. Mike should be
6 and
6.
3.
No. Yeah, 6 and
6 and
3.
3.
I'm 7. I'm 7.
Okay. So don't listen to me. That's the takeaway in the first 2 weeks.
Right. What are you, Riley?
So-
7-2.
Yeah, he's 7-2 because he went 3-1 and
Oh my God.
5-1. Then you, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Well, guess what? Got a lot of opportunity this week. 6 games to pick this week because the NFC North is all non-divisional games. The lock, the upset. I know Mike texted this in the group chat. Can you pick a divisional game as a lock or an upset? Yes, of course you can. It would just be basically double or nothing, so to speak, of either 2 wins or 2 losses. So that is on the table. But so yeah, let's start in the NFC North, and we have 4 games in the NFC North. We're going to start in Cleveland, our Packers against the Browns. I'm guessing it's going to be consensus. I'm taking the Packers. Who do you guys got?
Ditto.
Packers.
Packers.
Simple as that. No explanation needed. I think we talked a lot about some of the keys of the game of them winning earlier in the show. But all 3 of us, the Packers. Let's go. Very, very intriguing one now. 2 backup quarterbacks. We're going to see Jake Browning versus Carson Wentz. We got the Vikings versus the Bengals. And I went back and forth on this one a ton. But I will start with, let's start with Riley. Who you got for Vikings and Bengals?
Oh, I got Bengals. Like I'm not so sure they're not going to beat the shit out of them. Jake Browning can still put up points. The Vikings with their starting quarterback couldn't put up points, and Aaron Joe. I just don't know how they keep up with the Bengals.
Mike.
Yeah, I went back and forth on this one too. And I ended up going with the Bengals too. I just I believe in Jake Browning more than I believe in Carson Wentz at this point.
I know I had earlier today when I first put it down, I had Vikings winning, but then I think the smartness onto me, and like you mentioned, like Browning and the offense still moved the ball and they put up points and got the victory. So they still got their skill position guys. I think that'll be able to put up points more than the Vikings will put up points. So yeah, I have the Bengals over the Vikings as well. And side note, gosh darn, am I pissed at not going to see Joe Burrow in a few weeks, the game at Lambeau with the Packers, but is what it is. All right, let's go to the 0-2 Bears versus the 1-1 Cowboys. Who do we got? Mike.
So, interestingly enough, Dallas is a 1.5 point underdog opening up, which was really interesting to me. Something is super fishy about that line to me. I mean, Dallas only lost to Philly, I think, by 3. Put up a lot of points this last week against the Giants, who I honestly don't think are like that horrible. Like I feel like they have a pretty solid defense. I don't know. Something's weird about this line to me, but I'm still going with Dallas anyway. It's just weird though. I don't know.
On Dallas as well. I just don't know how the Bears defense bounces back, like mentally, psychologically, and they just don't have any DVs and their pass rush isn't great. So I don't know. I just don't trust Caleb Williams to do what Russ did last week and just go back and forth with Dak.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to cover their 2 receivers with Jalen Johnson's out now, and their other corners are not good. And the defense is just like basically letting teams score these first 2 weeks. So I also have Cowboys over the Bears, and is it at Soldier Field?
It is.
Is that?
But I mean, still.
Yeah. So I mean,
something's weird.
I don't think the Cowboys are that bad. I think the Cowboys are still good. Like, let's not forget, like this was a team that had high hopes 2 seasons ago before the Packers went into Jerry World and absolutely dominated them in the playoffs. Like that, we're not too far out from that team, that offense. Like their offense is good, their defense may be a little suspect, but I think that they'll out offense the Bears in this one. Last one could be a really good one. Ravens, Lions. Battle of maybe 2 teams that are eyeing the Super Bowl. Who we got? I'll start with it. I'm gonna do Ravens. I'll do the Ravens over the Lions. I don't know. It just seems like one of those games that Lamar's just going to make a couple more plays than Jared Goff does and ends up winning. And what about this? Sadly, Jair Alexander, just like a healthy scratch of, I know he's dealing with coming back from the injury, but maybe a smart move by Goody there so far to get rid of him. But Ravens.
Yep, I'm going Ravens here too. I think it's gonna be a high scoring affair, but I got Baltimore ultimately pulling it out.
Yeah, I'm going Ravens as well. I just don't think the Detroit style of defense just is the thing that goes well against a Lamar type. Like they're gonna send pressure, play man, and he's just gonna run around him, and like he might run for 100 yards himself this game. So yeah, it's either they do that or they change their style, which the teams change their style, doesn't go well, and then that's when Derrick Henry gashes them. So kind of pick your poison, and I just don't think their style is going to play very well into how the Ravens operate on offense.
All right, let's go to our locks of the week. We're going to start with Mike. Mr. Lock struggled in last week's lock. We're not going to say the name of the team just in case some people are listening right there. Want to keep them happy. So,
Unbelievable.
Mike,
So stupid.
who that was a frustrating end of the game. We'll just say in this household and in other family households on this side. But who's your lock of the week this week?
I'm taking the Bills over the Dolphins on Thursday night. I think the vibes are so bad down in Miami. I mean, they're already having a players only meeting after week 1. Like, yeah, we talked about how the Saints and the Colts before the season might be the worst team. Miami might be the worst team now.
Are the Colts actually good? I don't know.
Let's pump the brakes. Like, it's I don't believe
Jonathan Taylor.
but yeah, Bills over Dolphins at home on a short week. Give me the Bills.
All right, I'll go. You guys thought I was joking about picking against the Saints every single week. Well, guess what? I'm going to continue doing it until proven otherwise. I'm taking the Seahawks over the Saints, and I would even take the -7.5. I think the Seahawks looked pretty good this last week, and I think they'll beat the Saints. And I just got to keep with my NFC West teams. I've gone Cardinals, 49ers. Got to pick the Seahawks and keep the NFC West train rolling in my locks of the week. So I'm going to go Seahawks.
I am going to go the Buccaneers over the Jets. I think the Bucs look good. Offense looks good. Baker puts up points. He's clutch. And then the Jets look like shit last week. Justin Fields is hurt, so it might be Tyrod Taylor. So I just don't know how that goes well for the Jets.
All right.
That Tampa for New York.
Tampa.
All right. That leads us to our sixth game, the upset of the week. I will get us started because I have the only one that hasn't picked them so far this year. And I think everything's going against them. They never play good against this team, especially in LA. So I am going the Broncos, 2.5-point underdogs over the Chargers. Just everything in the football world is saying that it's going to be a Chargers win, just how they've looked the first 2 weeks. The Broncos have struggled. So in that case, that's the making of an upset. I think this is going to be one of those games where the Broncos come out and just do everything right. They move the ball, they score. The defense is going to play better. They can't play worse than they did last game. So I'm gonna go Broncos in an upset over the Chargers.
I initially was going to double up and go the Cowboys over the Bears here, but that line is just making me nervous. I don't understand it. And then if they do end up losing, that's 2 games down for me. So I'm gonna hedge my bet here a little bit. I'm taking the Giants plus 6.5 over the Chiefs.
Okay.
Home game for the Giants. I think their defense is not bad. I think
The 0-3
Kansas
Chiefs.
City-
How's that sound?
that offense, man, they are not looking good right now. That line is bad.
Yeah.
So I'm going Giants over Chiefs. Chiefs going 0-3 to start the year.
Okay.
All right, mine is, and I don't even know how this is an upset that the sports books say so, and I think it's a gift from the football guys because I think they're fucking really good. They just have played 2 really good teams. Somehow the Jags are favored over the Texans, so I'm taking the Texans. I think the Texans are going to beat this shit. I think the Texans have a top, who am I thinking defense wise here? I think like you got the Eagles, the Rams, the Packers, the Texans. I don't know who 5 would be, but those are the top 4 defenses in the NFL. The Texans defense fucking flies around. So my upset is the Texans.
All right.
All right.
All 6 games in the book. We had all of our divisional games were the same, but our lock and upsets were different. So we could gain some ground or lose some ground in the standings for week 3. But if you want to tell us what your 6 picks would be this week, let us know in the comments or comment on anything in the show. We'd love to answer it each and every week. Final thoughts before we get out of here. on just the sports world in general, NFL, college football, the Brewers. I know Ryder Cup's coming up very soon as well. Any closing thoughts before we wrap up this episode?
UWL football starting the season with a nice victory against a top 25 team. Let's go.
Love it. Nothing from Riley.
Riley's got nothing.
Riley's business as usual. All right. That's all. Yeah, that's all I have as well. So, everyone, keep listening to the Dairyland Drive podcast. Keep sharing us. Keep giving us those 5-star reviews on however you listen, Spotify, Apple. If you watch it on YouTube each and every week, we appreciate each and every one of you. But as always, Collin, Mike, and Riley, thanks for listening to this episode of the Dairyland Drive. We will see you next time.
Go back, go.